I want to go over the stance. So I know a lot of you guys are accomplished wrestlers. A lot of you guys have been wrestling a long time. But like I've told the other groups, when I look at a lot of even the really good high school kids, and you kind of compare them to that next level. A lot of you guys want to go on to college. One of the things that I see the biggest change in is not really the speed. Speed's a little bit. Conditioning is one. College wrestlers are in a lot better shape than high school, just because they practice a lot more, practice a lot longer. But the one fundamental thing that really stands out from a technique is their stance. And so what I mean by that is, you watch the average high school wrestler, and I'm just kind of painting an average picture. They're going to start off in a really, really good stance right away. And then about every 15 to 20 seconds, it kind of starts falling apart little by little. Then by the third period, you see a lot of this. Or a lot of this. Or you see a lot of this mess with the headgear. You know, you're kind of bouncing around, just shaking it out, and stuff like that. When you start watching, and just go back and get on Flow Wrestling, or go watch some of these finals, watch Mitchell, or watch some of their matches. The difference of what you'll see is, in that middle part of that third period, they're still right in here. They're still moving like they were in that first 20 or 30 seconds of that match. And that is the difference between the level you're at today and the level you'll want to be at here in the next year or two. And so, you know, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot I can do at helping you with your stance. But one thing I think I can help you with is that you need to go home and you need to start spending some time by yourself. Get you some 5 or 10 pound weights. They don't need to be big. And you start doing this. Get in that stance where you've got an inside base. Just like this. The faster these guys get in college, I've got to be able to stop that. If he's hitting single leg, you know, right there, I've got to be able to collapse that leg. And if I'm there straight like this, when he shoots, that leg locks. Makes it pretty damn hard to defend, doesn't it? If I've got a good inside base right here when he shoots, I immediately go right to that whizzer. That leg collapses on its own. That's what that body's made to do when you've got it right there. That's what that joint's working for you. The harder he shoots, the faster you go to your whizzer. Okay? Little things like that in your stance make a big difference. The other thing, when you're wrestling somebody really, really fast, if your hands are down here, what's the first thing he's going to touch? Your legs. What's the last thing you want him to have? Your legs. God gave them to us. Let's use them. And a lot of it is just, we condition our lungs, we condition our legs, we sometimes don't condition our arms to stay in that stance position for 6 or 7 minutes. So go home, get in a really good stance. Get you a couple Gatorade bottles to start off with, get you a couple 5 or 10 pound weights, and just do this. Over-exaggerate it, and it's going to burn. Practice moving, like this. That's going to build this right back in here and right in here. Then it's going to make it comfortable for you to keep your hands up. The first line of defense to our legs is always our hands. So then when we're wrestling, we've got our hands instead of here, we got them up here. It doesn't look as pretty. It doesn't look as pretty as this or whatever else, but we're defending our legs, and that's the whole thing. Right here. We're just slowing him down a little bit. Hands up. We're not reaching a lot. I'm not talking about doing a lot of overreaching, but we're keeping our hands up there. And just watch. I challenge you. Next high school tournament you go to, watch and see what I mean. First period, it all looks pretty good. Second period, not too bad. Third period, a lot of times it just falls apart. See a lot of this. See a lot of this. They're doing this. So the other thing you want to stay away from in a stance is long reaches. So when you start reaching a long ways away, that's bad. Because all of a sudden, I just told myself I can hit an outside single leg or a high crouch off of that. Right there. He's He's given that to me. He's given me time to react. So when my hands are up, I'm not making long reaches. Because I'm in here hand fighting and stuff like that. But I'm not having to go as far. But when I'm down here and I want to get my hands on him, I got to make a long reach. And that sets me up for a shot. You just give that guy what he wanted. All right? Just a couple things to think about. Right there. Keep inside on the feet. Get those hands up. Work on that. That will help your point differential more than anything. A lot of points you're giving up are just simply because you don't have your hands up and you're not ready. Okay? All right. Next thing. We're going to work a little bit on 2-on-1 series. There's two different ways. I like a 2-on-1 for two reasons. You got somebody that's really fast. He likes a lot of long, low-level shots, and he's hard to defend. I want to tie him up. I've got to get him in close, but I've got to get him in close in good position. You'll notice that Jordan Burroughs and those kind of people, when they wrestle a Russian or somebody from Yugoslavia or Ukraine, you see this a lot. Because they can't stand toe-to-toe with somebody like Jordan Burroughs. And I probably can't stand toe-to-toe with him as fast as he is. So in order for me to get in there close to where I can shoot at my speed, I've got to bring him in. But I've got to be able to control him. So when he comes in and he ties, I'm going to cut my hand and I'm going to overlay this wrist. Right here. I'm going to look right over and I'm going to immediately drop into that Russian. Now, two things I want out of this. I want my butt down and I want pressure on this elbow. I get pressure on the elbow by this shoulder. I just put pressure here. Notice how that's getting him out of position. See how he's extended down? That's a good thing. Because I'm right here. I'm in really, look at me. When you take this out, I'm still in a good stance, aren't I? That's where I want to be. I want to be in a great stance, but I want to have this Russian. So again, he ties right there. I want my head on the inside. If he gets it on the inside, roll it out. Push it up. Get your head on the inside at all costs. Now, the other thing that does is it takes his vision away. It's hard for him to see what I'm doing. So get that down there so you can get a good view of those legs. If he's backing this leg up, you're going to open up a shot here. A couple things we're going to work on the near side of this Russian is a foot sweep single, a kick single. A lot of people call it different. I like it because it's a high percentage shot with very low risk. You hit a low level shot and you miss it, what's going to happen? Where are you at? Underneath probably, aren't you? If I miss this one, I'm still in good position. Starting here. I'm going to move him. From here, I'm just going to block. And I'm just going to kick it just a little bit. I'm going to drive. And I'm driving this leg to me. And then I just change my level right here. Right there. That's all I'm doing. Real slow. Again. Bang right here. Move it. Step. Change my level. Pull it up as I'm driving. A little faster, looks like this. Right there. Move him a little bit. Either snatch it and come back, or move him. It's really hard to defend a single leg when that guy's moving. So don't just stand there and let him get a good whizzer or something on. We won't go over finishes. You know, I've seen 2 or 3 coaches put together some excellent finishes from a single leg. We're just going to get you to that point today. So that's number 1, our sweep single. Any questions on that? Very simple, pretty basic, but it works. It really works. It works on a lot of those fast guys because you're tying them up. But you're not tying them up here. I don't like to tie a guy up here. It limits my options. I want to tie him up here where I got 4 or 5 things I can do. The next thing on the near side, he might be looking for that. Got ties? I'm going to come here. I'm going to turn it right here. He's got that legs back. As it comes. Now from here, I want to hit my high cross. I'm going to bring this out. Follow with the head. Right there. I hit it, right here, just like any other high crotch, don't let your elbow fly out. It's got to come back to that backside, back pocket. Here. That way he cannot catch. I want that head and that ear glued here. If you're a good high crotch shooter, you will have a terrible looking ear. Right there. It's going to be embedded in that hip bone. So again, right here, moving. Right there, high crotch. Any questions? Need to see it again? Huh? Okay, show it from this side. Right here. Big punch. Right here. Right there. Just like that. Everybody got it? All right, 1, 2, 3.